What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Daley Move podcast, no huddle version. Happy Friday to you. I hope your guys' week is going well. If you're on spring break, hopefully you're enjoying it. You're being safe. If you're not on spring break, hopefully it's going quick. If nothing else, it is Friday, so you get to enjoy that a little bit. As always, joining you, Andrew Daley, Coach Daley 12 on Twitter and Instagram, wherever you might find me. Joined by my main man, Steve Scanlon, Coach Move. Coach, how you doing, man? It's Friday. I'm excited to get this thing going for sure.
Me too, Coach. Ready for the football fix heading into the weekend, man. Let's go.
Yeah, and we had a little technical difficulties. I'm still coming to you live from Tennessee. I'm hoping we don't have as many technical difficulties as we had on Tuesday night. But as always, a great show. 3 straight weeks running of number one on Good Pods, number one football podcast of the month. Overtook Pardon My Take. Sorry about it, boys, and sorry about it, Mr. Portnoy and all you Barstool guys up there. But, we're doing the things. Thank you to our sponsors, Twinning Teas. Thank you to Lunan. I see Lunan down there on your screen, Coach.
Yeah, man.
Great water company that's kind of keeping us hydrated. I can't wait to get home because I know my package is sitting at my neighbor's house right now, just calling my name.
Hope they don't drink it, Coach.
I hope they don't drink it all before I get home, man.
I hope they save you one.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, they said we got some regular, some spring water and then sparkling too.
Dude, I can't wait. I'm a huge sparkling water guy. So I'm going to get a nice glass. I'm going to fill it up with ice. I'm going to pour that sparkling water in there, put a little spritz of lime in there.
There you go.
Dude, I'm set. I love sparkling water, so I can't wait for that. But, we got some big news. Don't know when it's going to be able to drop, but very shortly we're going to be able to drop that for you. But get used to seeing Coach Scanlon's face and my face for a long time to come. I'm confident in saying that. This is our No Huddle podcast, a little bit shorter, faster, a little more quick hitting. We kind of hit on one topic, and then we cover some local South Jersey news. As we move forward here, we will have this will be our primary platform for local interviews, coaches interviews, player interviews. This is where we're going to have the No Huddle segment and the show on Fridays. It's performed very well. You guys did a great job listening last week and sharing, but we're going to kind of dive right into it and get started here. And we're going to talk about something that was viral in the coaching world last week. And you may or may not have seen it, Coach. Well, I know you've seen it, but those of you listening out there may or may not have seen it. It comes from Southeastern Missouri, which is an FCS. They're FCS, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, FCS program, obviously, in Missouri. They're running a drill in their spring football program. It's kind of like a modified Oklahoma-style drill. And if you don't know what an Oklahoma drill is, it's 2-down linebacker versus another 2-down offensive lineman and a running back. The whistle blows, the collision starts, and it's man for man. The best man wins, and it's very physical, highly physical, and a heavy contact drill. Okay, this one is a modified version of that, where they have a running back or a receiver, whoever it might be, running the ball, and then they have 2 or 3 defensive players kind of converging on this player, almost simulating maybe an open field tackle.
Yeah, Coach, I couldn't tell if it was open field or more like a kickoff look or something, but it's a lot of space and a lot of speed and a lot of collision all at once.
Yeah, I don't love it, and I'm going to kind of turn the floor over to you here in a second and kind of get your thoughts on it, but I don't understand the concept. I mean, listen, been around the game long enough. I understand the concept of the drill. Yes, it's open field tackling. I don't understand why we're doing it in March.
Yeah.
Or this was March, or maybe it was April. It was March 30th, actually. It's just a risk of, when we talked about it on Tuesday, these teams are canceling their spring games because, they don't want to get these players hurt. Granted, it's a different type of atmosphere on the FCS level. These guys might be getting, a couple bucks, but they're not making anything nearly what the guys at LSU are making. But it doesn't matter. Player safety is player safety, and this just doesn't seem like a drill that I would want to be running. And if you go back and watch the clip, It's like a car crash.
Yeah, it's violent.
Really,
I agree. The video
players
is
stay on the ground. I don't know if they get up. I would love to hear from the players who are actually involved in the drill. And I know, you can't do that because they would never throw their coach under the bus, I don't think. But
so, Coach, it's funny you say that because, as you can imagine, this thing did numbers immediately and not for the right reasons, right? So it got a lot of attention. One of the things it was different, all kind of NFL players and former NFL players that are analysts and podcasters and all saying similar things. And then there was some high-profile famous coaches saying, like, good for the coaches for doing this. It needs to toughen people up. Well, one of the things I saw was a former player here who had a career-ending injury in a practice.
Yeah, a punter.
Yeah, and how do you get the punter hurt in practice for a career ender? Sounds like a questionable decision, possibly. So you hate to see it. Hopefully, no one was hurt here, Coach. It's funny you said I'd like to ask the players. I bet you the 3 dudes on defense that were heat-seeking missiles and blew this guy up were probably more excited about the drill than the guy that had to catch the ball and run into them. What do you think?
If I'm the receiver here, I'm like, what are we doing? What am I like? Or what's the coach doing? Like, is this my best interest?
Especially
does this have my best interest in heart?
They're one tough practice away from being basketball-only players anyway. So the receivers hated this thing.
They're one unnecessary hit away from being in the transfer portal, one or the other. But I digress there a little bit. But, I said to you, it's funny because, like, I don't know if you followed Jason Brown, the guy from Last Chance U, but he was the only coach that I saw that, like, supported this. He was like, he loved it, man. And it was kind of comical.
Coach, hey, man. Maybe he knows better than us, right? What do we know?
Maybe. So, I don't think so, but maybe. I don't know. But hey, I'm surprised though because it's an old school type of style. It's an old school drill, pound them to the ground, full tackle, full contact.
Yeah,
it's not my style.
Yeah,
and I don't know. I don't know how many people's style it is in today's society. But again,
you hear the other side of it though. They'll say like, "Hey, your body cannot get prepared without playing that fast, that hard." So we kind of understand both sides.
Coach, your body can't get that prepared, but it's March 30th, and then you're going to practice until April 15th, and then you're not going to practice like that again until July 30th. Right. So what are we doing? Stop trying to justify it. You don't talk about every jackass out there who's trying to justify it.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
No doubt,
anyway,
it's definitely
that's our one topic, and that kind of leads me into this. Really bothered me. This video bothered me, Coach. And we're talking as we're planning the show, and I said there are things that bother me. Okay, there's things that bother me as a coach that really get under my skin, and I know that you have to feel the same way. There's got to be things that bother you too, that get under your skin. And I said, let's make a little segment out of it. And I said, let's call it our coaching Icks. Yeah. And what did you say? You wanted to name it what?
If the ick fits, man, you got to wear it, right? If
the ick fits, you got to wear it. And I say, let's rattle off a 6-pack here of coaching Icks, okay? Yeah. I'll go first.
Defensive minded, man. We're going to pick 6 here, Coach. We're going to score.
All right, there you go.
It's funny you said that because when we first were sharing ideas, dude, we were 20 deep back and forth. You know what I mean? So this list is long, and we might have to make this a run.
I just have to go back to the text messages because we were struggling to come up with them for the show. But, dude, we were just rattling them off. But I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first. Go ahead. What do you got?
Yeah, my first coaching ick, okay? Do not call me by my last name. Do not call me Daley, right? Okay? Yeah. Yeah, what's that? Yeah, last name only. Yeah. And I tell my especially my assistant coaches, I'm like, dude, don't call me Daley in front of the kids because then they do it. I'd never let any of the kids call me Daley. I don't let my students call me Daley. I say, you can call me Coach, you can call me Coach Daley, or you can call me Mr. Daley. I'm not your friend. We're not boys. You're not going to call me Daley. I've worked very hard in my profession to get a prefix in front of my name, okay? It's just a sign of respect for me, Coach. And when I agree, my assistant, I got some young assistants on my staff. And my older assistants, like Coach, I talked about Coach Carp a couple times already. Yeah. Dude, my veteran assistants, they would never do it.
Yeah. No, it's funny
and
you
I
say
would
that,
do
Coach.
it. But some of my younger assistants that don't know any different,
They don't get it.
they do it all the time. And I say, dude, don't call me Daley in front of the kids. To me, it's a sign of it's demeaning.
Yeah.
And then
No,
they
I
think they
agree.
can call me Daley, and just we lose that line of authority figure versus friend.
Yeah,
that's just
I
my
agree.
that's my first ick. Sorry, I ran a little long.
It's
You
a
go
great
ahead.
one. I got to co-sign on that, Coach. It's funny. I go out of my way to call anybody in our building that's a coach, because I do think it's one of the most respectful things that you can call somebody. And I also think back to my college head coach, Coach Mike Drass. Rest in peace, man. He would say, like, in our team rules in our first meeting, we would go over, it felt like 700 things, right? But one of the first one is like, I am your head coach. You will refer to me as Coach Drass or Coach at all times. And then he would say more directly, so Coach, he was a former everything offensive lineman, just like as tough can get. Like, he was the man. And he would say to you, like, where I'm from, if you call me my first name, he said, he would say it a little more poetically, but he would say it means that, you want to fight me. And he would say, and in a phone booth, I'll still kill all of you. Right. And it was great. But Coach, he meant it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I believe you. I believe you. It's a sign of it's a sign of respect, man. It really is.
No doubt.
What do you got? What's your number one coaching ick?
All right, Coach, this is going to affect some people that have coached with me, might hurt their feelings a little bit, but I've been very clear about it. But one of the things that drives me crazy is like coaching in flip-flops, right? Not even like, I hate coaching in slides. If I see you coaching in slides, I got a problem with it. But if you're like just straight beach mode, open toes, got the Earls out, all nasty, like,
my God,
flip-flops, like I want to set them, I want to take them off your feet and set them on fire. Like, that's how much it drives me crazy, someone trying to coach in flip-flops. And I had some, I won't say who, show up one time in flip-flops. I told them, I said, if you show up in these again, you're going to sit in the bleachers the rest of the season. And they showed up. I could
not imagine one of my assistants showing up in flip-flops, dude.
Yeah.
To a game or to practice? Like, I don't know.
It wasn't one of my like everyday soldiers. It was like someone helping out the program, showing up on, probably came jammed up from something from work, and that's what they came with. I'm like, dude, I'm not about it.
No. That's a big no. I'm also a big proponent of, and this isn't my ick, but a big proponent of no slides or sandals in the weight room either. Like I said, if you're not wearing sneakers, dude, don't come in here wearing Crocs. No. Don't come in here wearing those little slippers that they wear, the Uggs or whatever. Yeah. No. I said, and it's just not happening. If you're not in here ready to freaking work, then get the hell out.
Yeah.
Anyway,
or even better, Coach, pay to fine 200 push-ups. That'll stop
200 push-ups. Holy crap, dude!
Yeah, that'll stop it.
My second coaching ick is coaches who show up to the practice field with a cup of coffee in their hand. All right. Finish your little cup of Joe. All right. This isn't leisure time. Finish your cup of Joe in the office. Okay. Or finish it on your ride in. It's usually like the assistants who might not be working in the building or something like that. They'll come out, maybe they're coming from work or something. Dude, finish it in your car. Yeah. All right. You don't see me coming out there with a bottle of Pepsi or something like that, coaching the team. Finish your coffee. Now, if you're up in the booth or something during game day, you want to have a coffee or something, dude, take it up beforehand, leave it up there, come down the stretch and go from there. But don't have coffee in your hand when we're practicing or going through stretch lines. What would be worse is having coffee in slippers or slides. That would probably be a bigger ick for me.
You're fired, right?
Yeah, let's hear your second one.
Coach. All right, my second one is this, dude. This drives me crazy. So wherever I've been like the practice plan maniac. I could talk about, like, if we go to Glazers and they ever ask me to speak and they want to talk about practice plans, I could do a whole day, right? Like, I'm so meticulous about it. And it drives me crazy when I look around and somebody's like not aware or not doing what it clearly says they're supposed to be doing, right? And I to the point where, like, I'm with Coach Rob Davis now, and he's the man, and he and I meet and discuss things every single day about football. So he's really good at it, but he gets me. He'll look over at practice and see, like, I'm going to blow a gasket. And it's ultimately his program. So, like, it's a fine – like, I can't blow a gasket. You know what I mean? I'm not the head coach anymore.
Sure.
but he's really understanding with that, and he gets it. But I'm like, I'll lose my mind. And when I feel like that happens the most, Coach, during special teams. Like, you'll have one or two guys coaching something, and then 70 people standing around and not getting done what you're supposed to. And I'll tell you what, I had our first year there, we were building a plane mid-flight, right? So we were doing something with punt team. Long story short, I had coordinated who was responsible for watching each position on the punt team, gave them a job, guys setting up punt return, guys doing things on the sideline. And it turned into me coaching the whole unit, right? So we're playing Vineland. I think we had negative 10 yards the entire game of offense, right? Mm-hmm. So we're like in the game, we're playing well defensively. And the first time we go to run this punt fake that I saw, it was there. And Coach Davis like, hey, let's just make sure I'm okay. Okay. So we see it again. I'm like, Coach, it's there. He's like, all right, next time, green light it. Right. So they're going out for punt team. I don't even double check with them. I'm just calling it. Right. So long story short, snap to the punter, sprint out right in the flat as the personal protector. Coach, he's gone. Like 86 yards for a touchdown. Like, we were that deep and went for it, gone. The only problem was the only guy deeper than him catching it and down the sideline was the long snapper. He's like 14 yards downfield, right? So obviously it gets called back, and the kid comes to the sideline, and what does he say? I said, what?
I didn't know what to do.
That's what I do every day in practice. I said, you know what, guys? That's on us. Like, so-and-so is supposed to be watching him, and he's doing something else during practice. How am I mad at this kid? He don't understand. So, like, that's something that drives me crazy, Coach, to the point where I want to blow the whistle and start a fight club when a coach isn't following practice.
That's crazy, dude. I get it. I'm with you there. That's tough. And to kind of piggyback on that, I'll kind of go on my last ick here to kind of go off of guys standing around. It really bothers me during stretch lines when the coaching staff is in a little pod. Yeah. And I run our stretch lines. I would like not to, but I run our stretch lines right now because it needs to be commanded, like
it's important.
There just needs to be order. There needs to be order, and I gotta, hopefully that changes. But when you got coaches just standing around yapping amongst themselves, talking about what they're doing afterwards, or they could even, I don't care. They could even be talking about what they're doing at practice. Like, dude, we have that time in the office. Yeah. That time for stretch. And I've had this conversation on Twitter before, and it was pretty controversial. Like, you get people who are like, oh, that time is about the players. Let that be about them. And I'm not talking about my coaches going in and out and talking about game plan with the players. I'm talking about my coaches going in and out of the lines, asking the kids how their day was, or, hey, how's things going at home, man? Or, what are you doing this weekend? Or you got, Halloween's coming up, or Thanksgiving's coming up. You got any point, dude? That's your time to get to know the people out of your position group, I think. Yeah. And I tell my coaches that, and we do a pretty good job of it. And then kind of like towards the end of September, you're in the groove, and you can kind of see it start happening again. I'm like, dude, circulate the stretch lines, and I have to keep telling guys that, and that's like a bothersome thing for me. So that's my last one. There's so many more, but again, like I mentioned on Tuesday night, dude, we're a happy podcast, man. We're uplifting and inspiring. We're not going to harp on the negatives, but I thought this was kind of a cool segment. What's your last one?
Yeah, mine is not knowing the scheme. So we meet, and a lot of people think, of coaching football, they picture game day. So much of football, especially the level we're at, is January to June. It's around those kids in the weight room or meeting with the coach and staff and putting things together. And nothing drives me more insane besides flip-flops and not following the practice plan than not knowing the actual scheme. Like, so if you want to say things during a game or make suggestions, but you don't know what we're doing and why, like, no, dude, you missed the boat. And when you were supposed to have contribution, I don't want to hear from you right now.
No, I get it. It's a tough situation too. I know that, like, the more coaches you have, the tougher it is, because you don't want to exclude anybody. But dude, it's not that hard to get on Huddle or something and study up and learn the scheme. And that was always the toughest thing, especially with like when you get a bigger team and you got to split up with like JV and freshmen and stuff like that, making sure that you're freshmaning the same
being taught the right
verbiage and
stuff.
material from those coaches than
Coach,
that's
why
my else.
my program isn't going to split up. We're going to coach all one level. I feel
I
strongly
do it too.
about that. Yeah,
I do it too. But when my varsity is on offense, then my freshmen
you get pulled another direction. Yeah, of course.
Yep. I got to make sure that all my defensive coaches are on the same page too.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, well, that'll wrap that up. That was kind of fun. Like you said, I don't want to harp on the negatives too much.
No,
but
it's all fun.
That was fun talking about our Icks, and hopefully, who knows, some of our other colleagues are listening, and they'll take notice to it, and maybe they won't do those things anymore.
One can hope.
That's the hope here. As always, Daily Move podcast, no huddle version. We talk about a topic such as we just did, and then we move on and we talk about our South Jersey flavor. And right now, our South Jersey Spring Ball series has been the players to watch for our WJFL divisions. We're behind the eight ball a little bit on the talking about them versus, we've obviously we're putting out content every Monday and Thursday. We're naming the new players to watch in the division, but we're about a week behind on the show talking about them. So today we're going to cover our Colonial Division players to watch, as well as our Constitution players to watch. And again, Coach Move, as you have mentioned before, if you don't make this list, this is not the end-all, be-all. This is just something that we're putting out there to get some fire going preseason. The list that you really want to be on is that postseason list when we kind of come out with our all group teams and all division teams in the postseason, because that's going to be a lot of fun. So
no doubt.
We're going to start off here with the Colonial Division. First up is Burlington Township. Aiden Binns. Coach, talk to us a little bit about Aiden Binns and what they got going on over there in BT.
Yeah, so just to fill people in too, like what Coach Daley and I are saying, when we put these together, we talk about the players, we looked at a bunch of stats, we reach out to your coaches, we discuss them together, and normally I obviously, I like everybody's film. I like watching film and highlights. I send Coach Daley some clips. But this one, I was like, Coach, I want to talk about this dude, right? So this is the Burlington County Offensive Player of the Year. He had 1,754 yards rushing and 17 touchdowns. When you watch his tape, dude, it was one of the more fun tapes that I've watched across South Jersey. Check it out. Look up this dude's Huddle. Dude, Reggie Bush highlight touchdowns. First of all, the first minute and a half, they're all 60-plus yard touchdowns. He's catching the ball in space, and as soon as he kind of breaks and punctures that first to second level of a defense, he's gone. But then I was completely sold when 3 touchdowns in a row, start off all the way to the right. He gets stopped dead in his tracks, loops back all the way to the left, outruns all these angles, slices back in again, and scores a touchdown. So really, really dynamic player. Excited and looking forward to what he does this year again. Coach Everett's got a good one, and Burlington Township continues to be a program to watch, making more playoff and championship runs.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's Aiden Binns from Burlington Township. Coach, I know you got some personal experience with our next player to watch from Cherokee, Cooper Birdie. Talk a little bit about Cooper and tell us a little story that you got some backstory with.
Yeah, so now with Cooper, with his older brother Cam, was a great player coming out of Cherokee a couple years ago also. So just to fill you in, Coach, when I was recruiting, it was a weird time. The portal and the +1 class were taking a lot of opportunities away. So I was thinking, I'm going to target all these kids that I think are probably FCS to D2 level kids that are getting squeezed out. So I just talked to them all, developed relationships as best that I could. And I thought his brother Cam was a really good player. And he was. And he signed and he starts at East Stroudsburg right now. He's a receiver there. So an athletic bloodline, something I can appreciate and always enjoy. But Cooper, this dude is a 3-sport athlete, right? Football, basketball. His main sport is baseball. So you got to appreciate the toughness aspect and still being willing to play football in today's day and age. He is committed to Mississippi State, national championship winning Mississippi State. And he just finished his junior year. So he's really kind of early in this process. Coach, when you put him on, he's a big-time playmaker, can move the pocket, throw the ball. He's a dangerous threat running the football. He explodes through a defense when he puts his foot through the ground. And I think, to be honest with you, by the time he gets to graduation, he's going to have a big decision on his hands because I can't imagine this dude doesn't get drafted in baseball.
Right.
He's that great as a prospect, that good of an athlete. Like we said, comes from a good athletic family. And Cooper Birdie, man, he's going to have a big year for Cherokee this upcoming season. And we'll see if he ever makes it to Stark Vegas, man, because I think the MLB draft's going to be calling his name as well.
Yeah, it seems like Cherokee's always got one of those guys that, one of those two-sport athletes that could go either way. So definitely be interesting to see what decision Birdie makes as his future progresses. But Cooper Birdie, Cherokee High School player to watch. Moving on to Zion John from Delsea Regional High School. Zion John, just a big, imposing offensive, defensive lineman there. A physical trench disruptor at 6 foot, 265, playing for the Crusaders. Expected to be a big part of their season again for head coach Jason Volpe, and really just one of the better offensive linemen, just watching his film that I've seen in the entire county. Okay. Delsea didn't maybe have the year that they wanted to last year, but they play a brutal schedule. They're still paying that they're paying that fine for the divisions being readjusted and stuff like that. So it'll be interesting to see how they can bounce back. But dude, this kid is a road grader to every stretch of the imagination, and it's going to be fun to watch him. And like I said, one of the best linemen that I've watched on film probably so far this year. Zion John out of Delsea Regional.
Really disruptive on the defensive side of the ball, too. He doesn't get moved, and then it's violence in the backfield, man. Great player. Good call, Coach. Coach, I want to shift gears and check out now Pleasantville. Sure. Coach Glover. I think he's like 23, right? Like a really, really young head coach, former great player for them. He's taken over as head coach, and immediately they were back in the sectional semifinals this past year, playing Group 3 state champion Cedar Creek down to the wire in a great game. They got dudes all over the place, so they're doing an awesome job developing. But to me, it's Keys Barnes. I want to talk about Keys Barnes, slashing home run hitter as a runner. Like his running style is different, just rips through the defense. And he didn't move officially to running back till like halfway through the year. For me, what caught my eye, so one of their offensive coordinator, Coach Jose Tabora, former quarterback at St. Augustine Prep and then played at Wilkes and has played overseas. He works in our building at the school. He had coached with us before. Awesome guy. So during one of our lunch periods, we're watching film, talking about their season. This dude was showing us Coach Tabor was showing their preseason scrimmage during our lunch. And Barnes is at free safety. Coach, somebody throws a bubble on a 3rd and forever, and the guy breaks. Barnes goes from inside the hash and is just a heat-seeking missile to the sideline. Doesn't like step off that line this whole play and just obliterates the player on the sideline. I was like, oh my gosh, dude. Like, I think he could play on either side of the ball. Offers from New Haven, Monmouth, Temple, Wofford, probably a couple more coming, and a big part of why they're going to continue to be successful next year as well.
Yeah, I mean, I watched his film too, and very, very explosive playmaker and just fun to watch. We talked about it a couple times already, just the guys, man, the ability to have a guy like that on your team where anytime you get on the ball, they got the opportunity to do something special with it for sure. That's Keith Barnes from Pleasantville. We're moving on to a player who I have been incredibly impressed with on and off the field, and we'll talk about it. It's David Ogunsola from Rancocas Valley. And he just a dominant force, man. Dominant force defensively. One of the best defenses probably in South Jersey, if not the best defense coming back. Ogunsola had 107 tackles last year, 2 forced fumbles, a fumble recovery, 32 tackles for loss, Coach, 12 sacks. Dude, you watch the film of this kid coming off the edge, and he's an absolute machine off the edge. He's so hard to block, especially at that level, dude. When you're in high school and you're that quick off the edge, he's academically just as good as with his academics as he is on the field. Okay. And this is what I want to kind of talk about too, is he was recently on a visit to Duke, and we're talking about it. And he had actually reached out to us on Instagram and told us about his app that as this 17-year-old, I don't even know if he's 17, 16, he's a junior in high school. So however old you are, but he developed his own app and built his own app. And I'm like, dude, we got to get you on the show at some point. So I'm hoping to have David on the show at some point. But this app is like a recruiting app, and you can kind of reach out to and I don't have service obviously because I'm in Tennessee, but you can reach out to multiple colleges, and it's just incredible to see the the work ethic of these kids, and it just goes to speak for David Ogunsola for Rancocas Valley, just a solid player, but it seems to be even a better person and student, and that's really what it's all about, man. So I'm really excited. We're going to get him on the show sometime so he can come on and kind of share his information about this app that he developed, because I'm really curious to hear more about it.
Coach, and it makes sense. You watch the film and then you hear that, you're like, yeah, that's why when Coach Lucas was texting us, he was on the way down to Duke, right? Like this, he's going to do great things on and off the field. And then lastly, Coach, wrapping up this division, legendary program for Shawnee, right? Can you tell us who we got here?
We got Ben Eiferman for Shawnee. Right. Coach Gushu, like you said, legendary program. Talk to us a little bit about the big man for the Renegades.
Yeah, so I was going through and I noticed two things, Coach. We don't have enough offensive linemen specifically on this list. So that got us thinking, and we were talking to some people. Once we're done with these players to watch, Coach, I think we need to do some like top position rankings as well. And I actually think I want to start with offensive linemen. So
I think that's a great idea. I'm looking forward to
it a little bit later on in this spring as well. But just talking about Ben, immediately for me watching his tape, dude is violent, right? Plays with an incredible motor. You can tell that he's extremely strong, extremely physically tough. They're always running at Shawnee offenses that I would say are higher level than what a lot of people think of for the high school scheme. I think they do a great job with their run game. I reached out to Coach Gushu, and immediately he was like, that sounds like a great pick. Ben's an outstanding young student athlete. All A's, again, much better than you and I, right, Coach? Over 1,300 on the SATs, visiting Hamilton, Trinity College. Like, he was on a little tour on the weekend when I had reached out to Coach. But absolutely elite level of education and success on and off the field. Started for them at guard. It's going to continue to play defensive tackle. Just built like a monster. You could tell that this dude plays violent. And when you check out his film and see the clips that we shared as well, playing through the echo to the whistle, just punishing the opponent. So great selection for the Renegades as well.
Yep, that's Ben Eiferman, Shawnee High School, legendary Coach Gushu. We're going to move on. That'll wrap it up for the Colonial Division, and we're going to move on here and talk about our players to watch from the Constitution Division. We're going to start off with Delran, Joel Grimshaw. Delran, tight end, defensive end, Joel Grimshaw. They play a really, really physical brand of football, Coach, and he's kind of like he's helped them kind of turn into that playoff power and champion contender. Coach Huco's got those guys going in the right direction, man. And he looks to be next in line to keep that going for sure. He plays tight end or off the ball, and he can catch the passes coming across the middle, down the seams, whatever you ask him to do. And you put on his film, all right? And I know you sent over this note about him too, and we'll touch on it here. You put on this film, 59 seconds into your clip or into your Joel, and I know you're going to watch, dude.
Yeah, man.
And you take this for what it's worth. 59 seconds into your film. All right, you're watching, and you could just see he's reaching, his hands are engaged, he's blocking outside zone, and he's carrying a defender outside shoulder for over 10 yards, flying up the line of scrimmage. Dude, colleges are going to love that, man. You should move that clip up. That's just
Joel, move that to your first play, dude. And you know what? Clip it again and post it on your Twitter, because that play is awesome.
Yeah, we're just trying to give you constructive advice, man. And it's a great play, and colleges will love it. Joel Grimshaw for the Delran Bears. Bears, right?
Yeah, man.
Golden Bears. I'm sorry if I got the
Bears. You're right.
The Bears. Dude, Coach Huco's an awesome guy. I had him on my last podcast too. So good luck to Joel. Good luck to Coach Huco. Good luck to Delran. Let's talk about Haddonfield. Cormac Flanagan, Coach. Talk to us about what you know.
Just a monster. So 6'3", 240-pound linebacker. This guy had 154 tackles. That's a tackling machine, dude. right? So his first plays also show him dropping into coverage, right? Flips his hips open to one sideline, sees the routes carry the other way, flips the other direction, picks off a pass, takes it off down the sideline. He's stuffing the run for no gain from an off-ball linebacker position, lines up over the tight end, sets the edge, demolishes the opponent. He's kind of doing everything. Quarterback scrambling out. He's pursuing on the outside. He's the add-on blitz for secondary contain. Hits the quarterback in the backfield, strip sack, fumble, recovery by his team. Like, this dude does it all, man. He's already built like a college-sized player, and he's going to be a monster again. Coach Delano, quote, great player, better kid. We're seeing some consistency with this, Coach.
Yeah, and listen, nobody's going to recruit you if you're a piece of crap kid, you know. So it's kind of a consistent message. It's great to have these kids, and it's great to highlight these type of players. These guys, like, you know, you talk about Ogunsolo from Rancocas Valley. These guys who were, dude, what were you doing at 17 years old? Because I know I wasn't building apps, Coach.
Yeah,
I might have been eating apps at freaking Applebee's, or you could eat wings or something, but I wasn't building apps. And these kids are just showing great potential for their future.
It's funny you say that. When I was watching this and we're kind of sharing our notes back and forth, I'm like, 6'3", 240. That's me now. Like if I was this size in high school, I would have been ripping heads off, dude. And that's what these guys are doing. So testament to them. Great development, work ethic. You know, congratulations, and look forward to another great year for him and the Bulldogs.
Yep. And we're moving on. We got Nate Klecko from Paul 6. And if you think that name sounds familiar, it probably does. Nate Klecko, the son of NFL Super Bowl champion Dan Klecko, and grandson of Hall of Famer Joe Klecko, the former Temple star, two-time All-Division All-Star as a running back. I watch his film. This kid Klecko's got a really good feel for the zone scheme, Coach, and it's kind of hard to get that feel as a high school player. All right. Yeah. It's usually something that you kind of learn, and that vision is something that you usually learn in college. Okay. And it takes guys years to kind of master that vision and that zone vision. But Klecko's got it going for him. It looks natural to him. And I think he's primed for a big season this year with his senior year coming up. He's got over 1,500 yards and 18 touchdowns the last 2 years combined.
Yeah.
Nate Klecko from Paul 6, player to watch for that program.
Great player. I kept a really close eye on him because once upon a time, before I stepped down as head coach to go coach in college, I think he would have been rushing for me, right? So I've always kept a close eye on them. Whether he would have or not is up to him. You know, we're obviously just messing around. But someone as a player I've been aware of for a long time. He's still newer to football, right? Didn't start playing until about 7th grade. So he's still got a high ceiling as he continues to learn and develop. So good luck this year, Nate.
Talk to us about Anthony Tirico from Seneca and Coach Diorio over there taking over for the legendary Bill Fisher. Coach Diorio doing a great job keeping the ball rolling. Talk to us about Tirico.
He does, man. So it's funny you say about Coach Diorio. I remember watching him for Shawnee, helping lead Shawnee to an upset win over Timber Creek in a sectional championship. And literally every play, if he didn't make the play, like it seemed like it wasn't being made. He was so good. And he was named player of the year offensively by like the Inquirer and then defensively by the Courier Post. Well, I think Anthony has that kind of potential for what he brings to the field. 4-year starter, right? He's a starting quarterback, 17 passing touchdowns, 1,560 yards through the air. Through the ground, 1,660 yards through the air. On the ground, 1,560 yards rushing and 18 touchdowns. This guy's 2 all-South Jersey type players and impacts in one, right? He also does it on the defensive side of the ball. He had 56 tackles, 3 interceptions, a fumble recovery, a game dominator, and somebody, I know his recruitment's picking up. He's getting into the level. He's getting recruited by some great schools, football and academically. So he's obviously getting things done in the classroom. Just an incredible player. I'm glad I don't have to coach against him this year. But he's a player that, you know, if he's on your roster, like, hey man, we're going to make a run. Like this team can win a championship. So great work, Anthony and Coach Diorio. Keep it up, man.
Those are big, like you said, big time numbers from. Yeah, big-time numbers from a variety of positions. Just a dynamic player, great guy to have on your team. Good luck to Anthony Tirico and Seneca this year. Moving on to Zamir Davis from West Deptford. Coach Emmel leading the way for the West Deptford football team. I saw Coach post a video the other day of Zamir, 500-pound squat, 500-pound squat, pretty impressive in the weight room. And we'll talk a little bit more about the importance of the weight room in our future episodes coming up. But talk to me about Zamir Davis, what you know about him, and if Coach Emmel had anything to say about his big-time player.
Yeah, man. Coach Emmel is in a tough spot, too. He's got a really good group of guys in that class that have all contribute. But he's like, hey, man, how do I argue with what Zamir's done? Got 20 touchdowns last year. He had 1,158 yards rushing, 19 touchdowns on the ground, another 165 yards and 1 through the air. Defensively, 57 tackles, 7.5 for a loss, 3 fumble recoveries, 5 interceptions. Dude does it all on the field. Coach, let me tell you about when I first saw him. So as a freshman, a lot of his classmates were starting varsity. They were really young, right? He had gotten hurt during the course of that year. My team, EHT, where I was coaching, played against them for a consolation game, right? Well, Zamir gets cleared, right? He didn't play the week before. He gets cleared against us, right? So we're in this really good, like low scoring game, really hard fought game. We got a senior, multi-year, all-division, all-star running back. Bang, breaks tackle. He should be gone. 60-yard touchdown for the win. He gets caught by Zamir Davis, the freshman, right? So then we get it down to about the 1-yard line, 4th and goal, wildcat. We go this best player on the field again, bobbles the snap from the shotgun, breaks to the left side. There's 2 receivers out there to block. Davis breaks it, tackle for a loss, ices the game. And he's only gotten better and better since then. So we know Coach Emmel's really got that thing humming down there at West Efford right now. We know Zamir is going to have a monster year and continue to be one of the best running backs in South Jersey again this season.
For sure. And Coach Emmel will be joining us at some point shortly to talk about his program, Battle at the Beach. West Efford also taking a trip down to Florida this season to play a team down there.
Got to learn how to do it, man. I can't wait to have one.
Hey, wrapping it up here for the Constitution Division, we got a young man out of Willingboro High School, Yassine Hogue. Coach, talk to me about what you know and put a bow on this division for us.
Yeah, so we were talking about a couple different players. I like some players' film there. I like the lineman's film there. But talking with Coach Scott, he was like, hey, Coach Kenny Scott, he said, hey, this receiver, I feel he's the best one to be leading. As we talked more and I watched film more, and he's the leading receiver returning again. So he led the team in receiving yards last year. He's coming back. So that's going to be a huge jump going into his senior year. And then when you watch his film, first of all, Coach, they got incredible end zone drone footage. So his film is great to watch, right?
Right.
And seeing right away, this dude is a route technician, right? He's really good at recognizing man-to-man. He's setting you up, breaking you down, and bang, he's wide open with a double move. He plays on the outside. He lines up at like the Y off the ball. He plays in the slot, all 3 positions. He's really good at stemming, finding the opening in the zone, settling in that soft spot. He's also really good. I saw a couple of times where the coverage was closing in. The ball was in the air. Yassine goes up and makes the play, like putting his body on the line, goes up and gets it, realizing this window's closing down. I got to make the play right now. But just an absolute technician, you could tell, playing really well into traffic, really good film, plays DB as well. I watched him at safety, just breaking on the ball, firing downhill, reading the quarterback's eyes. It's going to have a monster year again for Coach Scott, for Willingboro, a great player.
Yeah, for sure. I'm curious to see, the success that Coach Scott has. Coach Scott, former teammate of mine down at Towson University. A little known fact, we're good friends. And if you don't remember, he's the one who got that ball rolling at Winslow. All right, he got the things in gear over there at Winslow High School. And he was kind of the
program was. He won the first sectional championship there. Actually played against him in high school, Coach. He was a great player too.
Yeah, he's the man. Great coach, and excited to see what he does. That's Yassine Hogue from Willingboro High School, and that puts a bow on our Constitution Division, and that puts a bow on this episode, Coach. And you know what? We talk about this no huddle episode being a little bit shorter. We went for 45 minutes, so we're just going to say we're 2 episodes a week show. We're not going any shorter. We're just talking a little bit longer. Giving love,
great players, lots to talk about. It is what it is.
Exactly. And giving love to South Jersey, giving love to these players who deserve it, and I'm having a blast, man. I don't think I've ever studied South Jersey as hard as I have the past few weeks and over the course of the past month. It's been great getting to know these guys and just seeing their reactions on social media and stuff like that. It's really been awesome. So, hey, that'll wrap it up for us. That's another episode of the Daley Move podcast, No Huddle edition. Join us live Tuesday night. We're back with our regularly scheduled programming. I'll be back in New Jersey. Hopefully the Wi-Fi service is a little better. Maybe we'll have Coach Scanlon. You said that you're doing some additions. Maybe we'll have another addition to the backdrop here next week. Who knows what we're going to get?
Dude, right? Studios, Coach. So it's funny. There's a account. His name's Cash Peterman. Right. He was a kicker punter specialist. He played at like 3 different schools. He runs a really good social media account, and he was showing his office. He's got a bunch of videos. I'm like, man, I got to do something. So
yeah, dude,
we're gonna start putting it together.
A black sheet, hang it up in the background, a couple bookshelves, man. We'll get this thing going. But I'll tell you what, we're gonna have some stuff to put on those bookshelves here in a couple weeks. But we got, I got to tease a little good news, but we'll save that for another time. Thanks for watching, everybody. As always, like, subscribe, share, tell somebody about what we're doing, man. We really appreciate it. Keep this thing rolling. Until next time, join us live Tuesday night. This has been the Daily Move podcast. We'll talk to you then.
Let's find a way to win.